back, everybody. How's it going? I hope you're all ready to dive down some rabbit holes. When it comes to conspiracy theories, I've never really been one to buy into any of that, mainly because it's all just so absurd. However, it can't be dismissed entirely that one or two of them every once in a while might not be plausible. I mean, look at all the recent shit with the Epstein files. I'm one of those that believe that the government has always been shady, will always be shady, and I tend to take everything they tell me with a grain of salt.
I don't believe anything the government tells me. Nothing. Zero.
So in my opinion, I guess, we should never fully write off when we hear certain theories because in the end, some of them might not be so far-fetched. And that's why for today, I decided that I'm going to be reacting to certain shorts that deal specifically with conspiracy theories. So without further ado, let's see which ones I might possibly see myself buying into.
The darkest conspiracy theories ever. The Bob Ross theory.
Oh, I've definitely heard this one.
Painter on television. The theory claims that Bob Ross is actually a serial killer. It's because of one of his paintings. It's called Happy Little Accidents, which depicts an exact crime scene where 5 bodies were found. What do you think about this theory?
I mean, obviously I do not buy into that whatsoever, but on a real note, it's a pretty fantastic idea for a movie. I mean, I seriously think somebody needs to jump on that. A serial killer that paints the locations of his crimes as a personal form of confession? Bro, that's gold. Somebody call him Night Shyamalan.
The color blue was never written down.
Weird.
In like all this, like blue was never a word.
Weird.
They didn't have a word for that color?
No.
Okay.
When they would describe like the ocean and stuff like that, they would describe it as like a green.
What?
And yeah. And so
Weird.
the theory is if you can't connect a word with a color, can you not see that color? Because your brain, and so they did an experiment.
That's crazy.
They did an experiment in this tribe and somewhere in Africa. It was like the Bush people, and they also have never heard the word blue. And so they gave this graph, and it's this graph of like 12 squares, and they're all green, right? And then there's one that's like a bluish green, very different. Like all of us would be like, oh yeah, that one's different. And they had these people look at it, and they were staring at it, and it took them so long to figure out which color was different because they don't know what to look for in the blue. They're like, find the one that's different. It was weird.
Yeah.
And then they showed
That is so bizarre. I actually had no clue. I just learned something. I have heard the theory, though, about supposedly blue eyes being a genetic accident because up until a certain point in history, apparently nobody had blue eyes, which really makes me wonder at what point in history this theory is referring to and how far back it is, because Scandinavian folk been around for a minute.
You know the Michael Jackson Neverland theory?
Neverland, no.
So, you know how the whole thing with Michael Jackson, the scandal, like he would take boys to his home and then...
And there was a picture of him like this, with a baby.
No, that's his baby.
Oh, okay.
No, but this was like a whole scandal that Michael Jackson was taking these kids to his house. Neverland. Neverland's kind of like an amusement park. They would just have fun and sleep over at Michael Jackson's house. But what people didn't like was, oh, is he doing that because he's getting like some sexual pleasure off of it? So it became a whole scandal all over the news. Boom, 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 boom. Everywhere, headlines, news, blah, blah. Guess what was happening? The exact same time that was happening. Jeffrey Epstein's island.
Oh, I think I heard of that.
That was the first time Jeffrey Epstein's island was being exposed. Was during the whole Michael Jackson Neverland scandal. So theory was that he had to bite the bullet for the rest of of Hollywood type of shit. You'll put all the attention on MJ because the whole world's gonna listen about that.
Yeah, and now we pretty much know that Michael was actually trying to create a safe haven for these kids. I mean, why do you think he quote-unquote bit the bullet? Michael suffered so incredibly bad, and everyone thought at one point in time that he was a creep, but knowing everything that we know now, there's literally no degree of amends that could possibly be successfully made that would repay everything that we destroyed in that man's life.
Well, the whole Grand Canyon thing is bananas. Like, there's areas of the Grand Canyon you cannot explore.
You cannot go. You cannot fly over.
Right.
And you can't fly under the rim. Yet when you go to those bad places, suddenly a white plane flies over under the rim, black helicopters show up. I showed on my episode. I show the black helicopters showing up. Like, they do show.
Yeah. Like they are protecting something. It's not as simple as this is a dangerous area, because you can go to any dangerous area.
You go just to the normal tourist area. It's like, be careful.
OMG, the CIA's hiding more UFOs. I mean, look, okay, I do believe in extraterrestrial life, okay? There's no doubt about that. But the whole government hiding UFO I don't know if I subscribe to all that. Not to say they wouldn't, but I mean, I definitely know that the government does hide from us, obviously. I mean, if anybody had any doubts about that before 3 months ago, I think those are crushed by this point.
Weird conspiracy theories. What if your pillow could collect your dreams and in the morning you could plug it in and watch it all over again? That'd be lit. What if we used to be able to make wishes but someone wished we couldn't? Kind of insane. This is a photo from the 1940s of what many believe to be a megalodon shark swimming next to a U-boat. That's too much. What if the bruises and small cuts we randomly get are from our soulmates getting injured? That's a stretch. Many experts believe that by the year 2045 we'll achieve digital immortality, uploading our minds to a computer and back to a different body. And what if we're just aliens on some kind of drug and when it's over we wake up and they ask, how was it? Damn.
Yeah, let me just go on ahead and state, I do not in any way, shape, or form think that we are living in any kind of simulation, especially one overran by aliens. I'm more inclined to believe that the world could be conquered by robots before aliens. Seriously. Artificial intelligence is going to be dangerous one day. But I do think that whatever kind of extraterrestrial life is out there, I mean, it's no wonder why they wouldn't want to interact with us. Have you seen us? They're probably out there like, yeah, nah, bro, I'm good. I'm so good.
Have you heard of the Mountain Dew conspiracy theory?
Mountain Dew? No, I haven't.
This one's fun.
Let's hear it.
Every time Mountain Dew makes a marketing push for a new drink or a new flavor that they have, it coincides with a world event that typically isn't that great.
That's terrifying. Let's hear it.
So Mountain Dew Code Red came out in 2001.
I know what event happened then.
3 months later, after it came out, 9/11 happened.
This is not good.
Maui burst. Right after they dropped that, 3 months later, the wildfires happened in Maui.
Wow, that's crazy.
Are you ready for this one?
Ready.
The Star Spangled Splash came out last year. Do you know who wrote the Star Spangled Banner?
George Washington.
Francis Scott Key. What bridge fell last year in Baltimore? The Francis Scott Key Bridge.
Oh.
Yes!
3 months after?
That's kind of like immediately after that one. Pitch black. A few years ago, we had a blackout in the IT world. July 19, 2024. Various IT systems around the world experienced an outage.
Mountain Dew dropped it and it went dark.
Yes. Another one. Tropical swirl. Crazy hurricanes that wouldn't end in Southeast America just a few months after they dropped that flavor.
They also, I just looked it up, they're dropping a mango rush flavor.
Yeah.
It might be a flood.
It literally might be.
And you can only get it at Little Caesars.
Ooh.
So where are the most Little Caesars, Zach?
Did you look that up?
No. But we saw one in Houston, Texas.
So you think there's going to be a flood in Houston, Texas?
There might be.
Okay, yeah, that's kinda creepy. I mean, realistically, it's not that surprising, honestly. I mean, usually big disasters are great for business. I mean, why do you think certain things such as the false flag policy exists? So yeah, naturally it wouldn't surprise me at all if big brand companies were promoting products during these incidents. Kinda adds a little validity to the idea. Oh no, if Teletubbies wasn't already terrifying as is. My younger sister used to watch that show all the time when she was little, and I remember thinking it was absolutely creepy back then. They barely speak, they look like a Martian nightmare on acid, and the sun in the background is a human infant. That was horrifying. And just the movements and the way they talked and just everything was so creepy. Bye-bye, Tinky Winky.
Elvis died in 1977, but much like his life, his death has been surrounded by controversy. You have to hear this. Hi, Elvis. When Elvis died of heart failure, it shocked the world enough to spark some serious rumors. Many people think that he went into hiding instead. There have been quite a few sightings. Here's one of them. The first well-publicized sighting happened at the Memphis International Airport. There was a man who looked a lot like him who used the name John Burroughs, which is significant because that's a pseudonym that Elvis used to use when he was checking into hotels, like his little secret identity, so people didn't know it was actually Elvis. He was also spotted in Kalamazoo, Michigan in the late 80s. And again at Legoland in the late 90s in San Diego, California, which was debunked pretty quickly because they hired Elvis impersonators to work there. So yeah, of course he was spotted there. But he does make a really hot Lego. You can also allegedly spot Elvis in the Home Alone movie. Well, at least that's what people on the internet say. For the truth, tune into the next video.
Yeah, no, kids, no. Elvis is not alive. This is one of those forms of conspiracy theories that absolutely drive me bat. These people that are always spouting how some famous celebrity or person that's passed is actually still alive somewhere. They did it with Tupac, they did it with Jim Morrison, and I'm just like, bro, why? Why would these people, out of everyone that's existed throughout history, somehow still be important enough to have a secret organization or somebody transport them to some tiny island or somewhere where they've been ever since they disappeared? Why would they be that important? Not that they're not fantastic musicians, but why would they be that important? Like, who's sitting around going, we gotta make sure Tupac and Jim Morrison are still alive. Gotta keep them breathing. Oh, and it's great, too, because even though they've passed, they are officially no longer alive. They still somehow keep posthumously releasing new music. Oh, that's right. They're on an island somewhere putting out new music. The world has to believe they're gone, but they're gonna keep putting out new music. Right, got it. You know, it's one thing to claim that the circumstances surrounding their death may have been odd or not completely make sense, but when you take it to this level, bro, just stop.
Did you know The Simpsons might not just be a cartoon like this video? Or you might dream about Springfield Tonight. Everyone jokes that The Simpsons predict the future. But what if it's not a joke? Over the years, they've accidentally predicted things like smartwatches, video calls, the Trump presidency, even the exact layout of the Higgs boson particle years before it was discovered. Some fans believe the show's creators had inside knowledge, but others think something darker, that The Simpsons is actually connected to a classified project that studies human behavior through media. Every prediction is really just a test to see how the world would react before it happens for real. And here's the creepiest part. In season 6, when Homer says, "There's no way out of this," the background glitches like reality itself breaks for a split second. Some believe that wasn't an animation error. It was the moment the show stopped being fiction and started becoming a mirror. So, are The Simpsons predicting the future or programming it? Comments? They knew. If you think The Simpsons were never just guessing.
Yep, I've heard the theory about The Simpsons for so many years. And yeah, I will admit that it is a little odd considering the circumstances. A lot of the things that they supposedly predicted definitely did come to pass. But again, it's kind of, you know, like it goes back to the Mountain Dew thing. I believe personally that the more influence you possess, the more inside knowledge you begin to pick up on or gain access to. That's why these big name entities have been the center of so much controversy and the product of so many conspiracies. We may never truly know, or maybe for at least a long time we may not know the answers, but one thing is absolutely for certain. Really makes you stop and wonder. Thank you all so much for checking out today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to show your support by smashing that like button and subscribing to my channel. Also, feel free to leave me some feedback in the comments section and let me know what you guys personally think and if there are any conspiracies that you believe personally might be plausible. Until next time, guys, stay safe, stay spooky. Peace!